Hold up. What's up, good people? It's your boy Hoom Boom, and this is the Hold Up Show. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy halfway there day. Happy hump day. Happy camel. Hey Joe day. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody is having a blessed day, making their steps towards progressing to be their higher self, taking steps to improve their life, taking steps to change for the better and to become a better person in any way that they can. Every time, here comes a bee. As soon as the camera gets on, that look like a wasp. Big wasp. But yes, shout out to my guardian angel. Shout out to my ancestors. Shout out to my grandparents. Shout out to God, and thank Him for continuing to look over me and watch over me and guide me. Because where I wasn't paying attention at before, best believe, paying attention to everything now, like every single thing. And still trying to lead with love, lead with my heart, make sure it is never closed to a new soul or try to condemn them for past souls or past personalities or damaged individuals that I've run across, because we all are a bit damaged in some way, you know what I'm saying? But it's up to you to dig inside and repair what's wrong, you know what I'm saying? Repair what you know is damaged. You know, you have to sit with yourself and be able to be comfortable with yourself, to become self-aware of, to knowing who you are, so you could better your situation. You know what I mean? So you could better personality traits that you see within yourself that you just may not agree with. They just might not align with who you are anymore. They might not fit the profile of the man or the woman that you are becoming. It might have fit the profile at a time in your life, but right now, that is no longer you, and you no longer fit that mold. And it is time for you to make a change. It's time for you to recognize the better in you and become the better you and make that change. No one's asking you to change tomorrow, but just out of the pride and the dignity of yourself, you should just want to change a little bit better. Even if it's 1%, even if it's 0.5%, you should be wanting to change for the better every single day. And believe me, it adds up. You'll start to recognize and be proud of the changes that you make. Because sometimes you have to, most of the time they like to say reinvent, but I don't like that word reinvent, because it almost sounds like you're making up a character. Like let me make a new character. This is the new character I am now. I would much rather say, like, you know, when people go to get a paint job and they go get a real official paint job and they scrub the car down to that hard plastic, or you know, how cars used to originally be made. Hold on. That you know, those iron horses, you know what I'm saying? They used to scrub them down and it would just be raw car. It wouldn't have none of the color, vibrancy in it. At least, you know, you still are who you are on the inside. The interior would still be the same, but that exterior is now down to its bare bones, you know, how it came off the assembly floor before they put the paint job on it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta go back to that. You gotta know the foundation of your bare bones and skin and all that. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta rebuild. I like rebuild better than reinvent, because, you know, you hear a lot of artists and a lot of business owners and people that deal in those factions say reinvent, because they're trying to reintroduce a product, reintroduce a character, a TV show, a theme, an anthem in a new, more modern way. But at its core, it's still something. It's still something that was made up. It wasn't the authentic, raw self that it came out into the world as, you know. It was intentionally made to give something created out of the imagination of someone. Just like when, you know, a person comes up with a product and they're looking to name it, they're looking for something to capture people's attention. They're looking for something that is imaginative yet captivating, but it's all made up. It's not authentic to itself, because that's why when the most authentic products, they say sell themselves. You don't even have to say, you know what I mean? Like, it's weed, right? If it's weed, it'll sell itself, as long as it gets you the right type of high. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol sells itself, long as it has the right amount of percentage or proof that whoever is purchasing is desiring, you know. So I say more to rebuild than reinvent. You all need a moment in time and a moment in a period to rebuild, recalibrate. You know, even if you don't have a consistent relationship with God's spirit, your angels, your ancestors, or however you deem, through whatever way that you deem religion or way of life, that you give praise to a higher force if you believe in one. Sometimes you gotta recalibrate that relationship with them as well, if you don't have a consistent relationship with them, just because of your makeup and build as a personality, or as a person that the divine has created, because he made you how you are to some degree, but you know what traits you adapted from environments. You know which ones you did. And if you don't, the older you get, the more you'll recognize what traits that you were introduced to. Because when you start to open your mind and understand that from the time that you bust out a mommy's snappy nappy dugout, and you came and you got that smack on your ass and start screaming to the world, you started immediately being programmed. You start immediately being told what you couldn't touch, what you could touch, what you couldn't touch. You was automatically fed things that you weren't aware of, that you were even being fed at the time, but you knew you had an urge in your body that required something, and that whatever they were giving you was satisfying whatever that discomfort in your body was. And I'm pretty sure if you had a conscious mind and vocal cords, you would say, I want that 100% pure Cambodian breast milk. What is this powdered shit? I want pure Cambodian breast milk. You wouldn't be, accepting certain things that they would be trying to give you. You would be looking for what is tied to source, what is tied to the divine creator. But you are not. You are programmed. You are given powdered milk, or some are privileged to get breast milk, and shout out to those brothers, and sisters, whatever, you know what I mean? But there's other things, like if you grew up in a culture that never had meat, you wouldn't eat meat, If you grew up in a culture that didn't fuck with fruit, you wouldn't fuck with fruit until you made the conscious decision to discover fruit of your own free will, not because you were programmed not to. And that also taps into your moral code and makeup of right and wrong that's already naturally attached to your system. It's just weird how we automatically know what's right and wrong, morally and otherwise. Because even in life, we've discovered what consequences moral rights and wrongs can have on your life. You know what I'm saying? Because the energy shifts and the environment starts to not work in your favor, and they call it karma. But in actuality, it's a moral punishment, because morally you knew you were out here doing things that were wrong. energy shift, people decided not to associate with you the same because your energy is now being recognized as something unmoral, unethical. Or you can even just have a different opinion than others, and that energy will shift in the room a little. It wouldn't be exchanged in the same way, and you would feel it. The wattage would be lowered. You know what I mean? So yeah, from the time you came out the Snappy Nappy dugout, and you slid into those toddler years, and you started getting programmed and what not to touch, what not to do, what not to burst out and say, all the above. And that sort of programming, depending on the environment that you were raised in, still started to take more and more shape and show itself more and more. And you didn't start to recognize it because it took for you to go to other places that compute in a different way to realize that, oh snap, I was programmed this way because where I was live. I was programmed to like the Eagles in a way because they were the most visible in the area. I was programmed to whatever, right? You know what I mean? Whether you willingly picked it up or not, it was still a form of programming because they were expecting you just to fall in line and fall in suit. And anybody that didn't fall in line or fall in suit, most of the times they would look for ways to ostracize or shame or make the energy shift away from them until they either succumb to fall in line or they pave a way of their own, you know? It's like since I've been awakened to my connection with Source, and fully recognizing and realizing who I am, and the energy that I want to give off, how I want to affect the world, or even just the environment that I am in, to the point that it leaves an impression on someone who's not from here, that it has a positive effect when they go back wherever they at, and they're able to spread that vibration and spread that love in the same way. Their own version, of course, but it vibrates all the same. When the emotion and the intentions are pure and good, vibrates the same way. But yeah, I'm just taking it day by day, being obedient, fully surrendered to whatever God wants me to do. You know, no longer trying to save people that I come across and have a affinity for, or if that's the word, you know, or admiration or a empathy for, but I'm just handling it differently, you know, just spreading love in a different way while also protecting my energy, you know, protecting my inner peace, you know. It just felt so good to just be all the way back in the zone, you know what I'm saying? Not harboring the burdens of anyone else in the whole entire world. Like, it's like my empathy has Donald Trump borders now, or so. Or, well, I ain't gonna say Donald Trump borders, but I'm, you know, my borders are complete. They like the Great Wall of China or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Or well, they really actually say it's the Great Wall of Tartaria, but that's another discussion. But yeah, something, you know, like my shit like Russia borders or something, like. Yeah, my empathy only goes but so far before all the borders and stuff, and there's nothing else I could do for you but say a prayer and wish you good intentions. You know what I'm saying? That the world has made me understand that those barriers and borders are now needed. And there's no other way to proceed because of my connection to Source and the energy and love that I give to people. Everyone doesn't deserve it. Everyone don't deserve access, you know what I'm saying? Access denied, you know what I mean? Access under review, you know what I'm saying? Request pending, you know? It's just how it gotta be, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's like for everybody, you know? I mean, of course not my kids, but everybody else, man, shit. I'm just trying to do good. Yeah, so just wanted to tap in with y'all, you know. Tell everybody, take it one day at a time. Make the effort to at least be 1% better every day, or take 1% of progress towards your goals and aspirations. Keep the God within you in your heart so that you can properly praise the bigger God in the sky, the divine. Do what you need to do. It's no excuses, you know? you got an excuse, you're looking for one. The world is your oyster. Your reality is your own. And I pray everybody finds a way to heal just as much as you're trying to progress. Cause you're healing every day, whether you know it or not. You're either tolerating or you're healing, you know? And it's your decision. Once you become self-aware, there's no longer an excuse. Once you know how to read, this is why the tales of his story say that they try to stop us from learning how to read, because once you know how to read and you start seeing the signs, there's no way you're going to go back to not knowing how to read, and there's no way you're going to ignore the signs that tell you stop, no, danger. But if you didn't know how to read and you just seen a sign and you just didn't know what it mean or meant, and you didn't pay attention to how your masters reacted to it, you would have been in danger, not even knowing. So, once you know and become self-aware of something you need to heal, that's already God talking to you. You are his child. You hold his energy, and your higher self just told you, just made you self-aware of something. Now you got to go be conscious about busting that move to either change it or accept it and just dwell in it. But it's gonna start to shape your future, and if that's not what he wants you to do, he's gonna start to redirect you too. So it's your boy Home Boom, man. Hope everybody have a blessed day. Hope everybody got something out of this. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Trying to get the 1K, you know what I'm saying? Long way to go, but as long as I earn every one of y'all attention to help heal on this journey or whatever, you know, I want to discuss, you know, whether y'all, just as long as I can earn each and every one of my subscribers and they can feel where I'm coming from, not on everything, but most things, like they, you know, you just vibe with the kid, I appreciate it, man. I am so blessed that y'all are here, and you know what I'm saying, I'm grateful, I'm thankful of whoever takes heed to what I'm trying to bestow upon them for their better good, you know what I mean, for their higher self, you know. It's like I just go where the peace is at, you know what I mean. Wherever you tell me to go, that's what I do. So, you know, love is love. Hashtag faith. Hashtag he saved me. Hashtag the grass is always greener on God's side. Hashtag make your own motion because you are blessed. So use your blessings. Salute.